It's a hot one. What's going on, guys? Today we're talking about mostly the tap rig, all right? Tactical assault panel. Had a lot of requests for that. So this is kind of a summer, warm weather Minuteman's patrol loadout. Of course, we got the weapon and we got everything taped up so we're not reflecting and shining and all that. All right, but the whole point is we need something that is light, kind of low profile. We can make it stealthy and it's going to cover our needs for like a quick reaction. Okay, so I have a few comfort items that I'm sure some of y'all would disagree with, but they're things that when I'm roughing it in the field, so let's say I plan to go out for a day and maybe part of the night and I get stuck, I'm okay roughing it in certain areas, but there's some things that I want to have with me. And yeah, some of y'all probably won't like it, but you know, that's why we always test our stuff and see what we like, see what we can get away with. I'm sure there's going to be a couple items that some of y'all would add. All right, so I'm looking forward to those comments down there. I owe you guys 3 things. All right, we would fail PCIs today. All right, so first of all, it's hot as shit. We got to have a hat. A ball cap will not work. All right, in heat like this with the sun, you need some coverage, believe me. And we've kind of dirtied it up, gilly washed it to the area, threw some tan paint on, you know, the metal pieces and stuff, just to kind of work with the environment we're dealing with. The glasses, you know, for being super stealth mode, the glasses are going away. We're not wearing those. Okay, so we've got a magazine and the gun, and then we've got 5 on our chest rig. All right, and there's a couple reasons for that. I have a pack that if I'm expecting something bigger, something longer, I'm gonna have a bunch of extra magazines in there, but we are limited on this space. We want to carry as much ammo as we can, but we also don't want to be carrying an excessive load. All right, so we'll just work our way around, okay? Way back here, we've got a dump pouch, all right? So I know a lot of the GWAT guys, the tactical guys, they kind of got in the habit of using their dump pouch as an extra pouch, just to throw water bottles and last minute crap in. I don't do that, and I don't want to plan for that. I want to have that for its designated purpose. Then we've got our comm system. This is the Retevis Alance HD2 digital encryption. It is a fantastic radio. I've done a video on that. If it's out, it's going to be linked down there somewhere. So we've got the hand mic when I'm on the ATV. I've got the ear muffs that plugs right into that, so I don't have to stop rolling and say again or any of that crap. I can transmit while I am driving with my thumb on the gas. I've come in, no problems. Okay, when I get off and I dismount, or if we start dismounted, it's either going to be like this if I'm just rolling around like today, or I've got my stealthy freaking, you know, earbud that'll work. Okay, but that's one of the missing items that we failed PCIs. All right, so here we've got hydration. All right, I've got to have water on me. Okay, Camelbacks are cool. That's what I usually used in the GWAT days, but I have found that Camelbacks and even MSR dromedaries, the really tough ones, they will break at the worst time possible. So this canteen I've had for over 20 years. It's been through all kinds of hell, and it's still there. So I want the ruggedness and the durability of a canteen. So we're missing the water purification tablets. That's very important because we've only got 1 cord on us. I have done my A-scope, okay? We know the area. We know where we're operating. So if I know it's possible I won't be able to just go grab extra water, well then I'll throw the MSR dromedary on me. It's a 4-liter bag. It'll go right above this on the back, and we'll have our extra water source. But then at the same time, I could also grab my Crossfire One freaking what I call a day bag or an assault pack, and it's gonna have all the extra water and other stuff in there. Okay, but again, this is our stealthy fighting load. This is what you grab to go out and fight. Or maybe, you know, your compound has got a drone up and they're like, hey, you know, we got some people screwing around in this corner or something. Like you might want to go get some eyes on them. Okay, so we don't need to put on the doomsday stuff. It's just a reconnaissance mission. So we just want to be as light and stealthy as possible. But should I have to gather extra water, we've got a standard cotton handkerchief, right? That's how we can filter the water. And then those purification tablets would be the next step. You filter the water into your canteen, throw the tablet in there, shake it around a little bit, and you can already get moving, right? Because you got to wait 30 minutes anyway. And those tabs would go right down in here. You got a canteen cup in there, and it's really just to have a freaking cup on me. It doesn't take up extra space. It's not heavy, so I like to keep my cup with my canteen. We might be linking up with a whole bunch of people who have chow for us, but they don't have any way to serve it to us, so we're going old school style with a canteen cup. Okay, so sticking on the outside, we've got the magazines, and we are updating the paint. These are the standard metal magazines, and pretty much the paint is just to get rid of the shine and cover up blackness. You may notice I have space here. That is so I can lay down. Like, this distance right here doesn't affect me going prone if I have to. I've done a video explaining that. But I do like to leave the space here so I can kind of lay down in a decent profile. So then I've got my tough phone, and this is what I call my mission phone. It stays off, it stays charged. We've got the important stuff covered, so we're not shiny with it and everything. I don't use mobile network or anything on this. I just use Avenza maps, all right, offline maps. So I know guys will say, well, people will track you on your phone. If it comes to that, it stays home. Pretty simple. Before we roll out, that's what our PCIs are for. All right, so over here, we've got basically my nods bag, that's what I call it. In here, we've got a VS17 panel. I had one end spray painted just in case the orange pops out, but it's gotten mixed up. On the other side, we've got our lensetic compass. We're most likely operating in an area that we know, but if you get down in some steep ravines and gulches, you might need to pull out something to get your orientation again. I've got this watch, and of course it's covered. This is good to pull up grids, just if I need to say my location really quickly and double check it with the map. That's it. But I'm not walking around navigating with these. That's not a good idea. None of them are good enough to do that. So you got to have a physical compass. All right, and then in the bag, so you saw I got an extra pair of gloves here, and it's just because we're always wearing gloves on us no matter what we're doing. And they happen to stay on my pants. But I also have some Nomex gloves because we're talking about hot weather. I might have to do some fire stuff in an emergency situation, but also it's 104 degrees today. 5 minutes in the sun, you ain't even touching your weapon, okay? So once you start actually shooting in this heat, you're gonna want some freaking Nomex gloves. Okay, real quick on camouflage. These will cover what I need. All right, so at least we don't have hands and stuff. It'll cover this up, even though it's covered. We're still covering up anything on that watch. So this is going to come up probably. People are going to ask, what about bugs? Because I don't have any kind of bug treatment stuff. The chemicals never work for me. I've tried them all. They don't work. What does work for me is I did a video a long time ago explaining this. I can cinch all my stuff down. I've got overlap here. That keeps the bugs out there. I can blouse my pants down into my boots, so that protects me there. And then we're going to get to some of the other bug treatment stuff. So we got those, and then we got our PVS 14s, and they are ready to go. Now, I usually have my skull crusher snapped back here in the back. So that'll be the third item. We failed PCIs. But remember, NODs, night observation device. Okay, so we're not always walking around with these mounted on our head. And if I've got any kind of moonlight, I'm typically just walking around with the moonlight anyway. But it's a sensitive item, we're going to keep it on us anyway. And then the way I put the Nomex gloves in there kind of gives that lens some padding, because the rubber eye cover, if it doesn't fall off, it gets destroyed, especially in weather like this. So I know guys are going to say, wow, your IR profile will give you away. Like, okay, well, it's something that goes into our considerations in mission planning, all right? So it's something we deal with on the ground. And if I'm using these to observe, I don't have to have the brightness all the way up anyway. That would be stupid. Now let's work our way on the inside. This is what I call my pogue pouch. We've got 2 chem lights, and we have SOPs for what to do with these. And then this is something some of y'all are going to disagree with. Even if I'm going out for like an hour or so, I'm bringing some kind of sustainment. Is it melting in this temperature? Absolutely, but it's calories. I want freaking calories. I have been a starving grunt enough, and I'm not gonna do that. I'm gonna have at least one. On the way out, I might grab a handful of them too and shove them down in a pocket. So some of y'all are like, well, it's a fighting loadout, you don't need anything else. Okay, we'll drop your food. But don't be asking me for a protein bar when you're starving in an OP that we got stuck in. Okay, another comfort item. We've got enough baby wipes to take 2 poops. And you know, we keep this bag because if you're talking about super stealthy operations, trash has got to go with you. So this becomes the trash bag for, you know, dirty wipes and then my protein bar wrapper. Can't leave stuff in there. So we have 0 rain, so I can put all of my batteries right down here in this patch too. 2 extra, like I think one CR123, we call them photo batteries, the short fat ones. I've got 2 of those for my PEC 15. The radio is always charged when I'm not using it. Like I've talked about my ready room. When we come back in, everything gets set up, ready to go out again. So probably once a month, I will just throw my extra batteries away and just add new ones in there. The phone, because I'm not using it like a regular phone, it's got a 10,500 milliamp hour battery. The way I use it, I will get 2 weeks out of this at least, okay? So if this battery goes dead and I'm worried about charging it, we're in a whole other world of hurt that, you know, this is not gonna be a big deal anymore. If you're in wet environments or it's rainy, you're dealing with rain in the summertime, you're gonna wanna cover your batteries or put them in a bag. Okay, so this pouch in here, I do have a magnifier on the rifle, but I do like to keep binoculars with me, all right? So it's not big army. We don't have the supply chains. Maybe the guy I'm with just has iron sights and we're in an OP, I've got glass, now he needs glass, okay? It's a smaller version of the M24 binos and we've got them nice and taped up so we're not glaring at people. They got a reticle in there for range estimation. Let's just dump this stuff. We've got our area map. We got a couple notes on there. Paper maps are good. I will use my phone to get better terrain guidance and stuff. Pull up some checkpoints I've saved, but you know, having a manual map is not a bad idea. We've got small roll of duct tape that can be used for all kinds of purposes. Don't need to go into that. Got our small notebook for taking notes, then I don't have to use the notepad on my phone. I like the red fine point Sharpies to write in my notebooks, but red isn't going to show up under red lens and it's very hard to see under night vision. So we got a black Sharpie too, so I have multiple options. Plus with the black Sharpie I can write on my skin. Sometimes I do that. I take notes on my skin. You call me weird, I don't care. I'm one of those guys. But you know, it's not a bad idea to be able to freaking put grids and quick information on your skin. And I'm not an operator, so I ain't buying the cool guy stuff. Another kind of comfort item that's dual purpose. A head net, a bug net for your head. Now, people are gonna mock that, but I have been laid up in positions, like I said, dusk and dawn, the gnats are miserable. If you're in a humid climate or around water, you got mosquitoes. You can go suffer through that stuff, but I think guys who have actually been there and sat through that crap will agree that it will distract you so much. You will be so miserable, you might not be able to focus on your job anymore. And who wants to get eaten alive when you don't have to? Also, the bug net will serve as a quick camo. Okay, so maybe you noticed on the back, I've got my sniper veil right here on the back. That's rubber bands, right? And I've got a whole bunch of extras in case I snap these, and that's right there. So if we do get into an OP or just a little stealthy position, I can throw that over my whole body, put it over my head, and it breaks up this area. A lot of people fail in camouflage because they've got all these cool pre-made ghillie suits and they camo their face and everything, but they forget that your shoulders and head, this is what gives a human away. I could be wearing almost any color in this environment, and if I get in the right position and consider what is around me and behind me, it's CCSSM: color, contrast, shape, shine, and movement. Those are your camouflage principles. But I can use those principles and I can wear damn near anything and get in the right position and you won't find me. But it's also because I understand you've got to break this up. Head and shoulders will give you away. So I could throw the sniper veil over me and I get more coverage, and if I'm worried about my gear giving me away, that'll cover that up. But most importantly, it breaks this up. Now, if I'm worried about bugs or I'm worried about my face giving us away, we throw this on over this. And while we're in the OP going to sleep, we'll tuck this down in here, zip this up, and we've got a bug barrier. So kind of a dual purpose item, also a little bit of convenience. I'm telling you guys, you don't want to be out in an OP somewhere or sitting there dusk or dawn just getting eaten alive for no reason. All right, that sucks. So I keep it in this bright orange bag because it's not hanging off of me being seen, but it's also to protect the bug net because they're very weak and fragile. But also, if I drop it on the ground, I can find it. So kind of like the backpacker style. Some things I want to have high vis. A good grunt is always ready to go. So let's put this stuff back in. Now, some of you might ask, well, does that crap bother you taking up these pouches? It absolutely does not. The Flick, the fighting load carrier, is a very good piece of equipment. That's another good way to go. But the tap rig is just, it's something I've kind of grown to love, right? It's just fits me better. Like the extra pockets on the inside work out very well. I can easily rip those mags off so it's slick, and then I can just throw my tap rig over it. I kind of like the idea of not choosing one or the other, and then I got to move all my magazines and stuff. If I'm going to upgrade to a plate carrier and helmet, I like to have a slick plate carrier, throw the tap rig on there, and then, you know, once I'm in the field and I want to get rid of the plate carrier, I just drop that, but I still have everything on a tap. In the colder months, I'll move this phone down inside, so I've got my body heat on it, protecting it. Your batteries are close to your body, so your batteries aren't dying faster in the cold months. And then in the hot months, I'm breathing. Okay. So this last internal sustainment pocket, for us, the SOP is medical stuff. On the left side is worn. So some of our guys, they have their canteen or water somewhere else, and they have a big old freaking IFAK or something right here. So basically everybody knows where to freaking look for your stuff. So right down in here, we've just got some stop the bleed stuff. It's not a boo-boo kit. Remember, we're going out on a short mission. The boo-boo kit, Band-Aids and aspirin and feel-good stuff, that's in the assault bag. This is if I get shot or a major injury. So we've got one cat that's going to be used for almost everything. Combat gauze for packing holes, okay? Exit wounds, holes, this stuff expands. We've got one because if we need more on a short patrol, we're in a lot more trouble. And then the good old US Army cravat. You do a lot of stuff with this. You can go look that up. You can sign up for the Grunt Academy, and Prepared Citizens is going to be covering medical. Now, some people might say, well, hey, you have a cravat on you. Why do you have a handkerchief for your water filtration when that's a dual purpose item? Okay, so here's the thing. Notice how this is still in the plastic. All right, we're talking about treating medical injuries. We're already going to have to deal with possible infection from whatever has entered my body. We don't want to exacerbate that, the risk of infection, by putting dirty ass crap on our wounds, okay? So the cat is exposed because that's going to be an external thing, but everything that touches our wound is going to be protected, all right? So this is in its seal, and we checked that, and then this stays in its plastic until use. I don't want to go out filtering water because I will do that a lot with just one canteen on me. And then if I get into an emergency, we got to use my dirty ass filtered rag to put on a wound, right? That's definitely a no-go. It's going to be bad enough, all right? And the tourniquet is ready to go. It's set up to where I could do it myself one-handed, or if somebody's got to treat me, it's ready to just cinch down. Now again, if you want some medical training, sign up for the Grunt Academy, and Prepared Citizens is going to be covering small unit, team first aid, and TC3. And we're also having a special course on homestead medical and homestead medical sustainment. So you might want to check that one out. Okay, so something about the harness. So you see how I've got my mic mounted? It's on one of these kind of bungee loops. I haven't had problems with this yet. If I did, we've got plenty of molly up here, right? So I can rotate that and clip it onto one of these vertical molly things. But haven't had problems with this one yet, but it is an option. I've seen people complain about the harness system on the tap, and they will replace it, make it thicker, and put pads and stuff on there. That is a way to go. I haven't been uncomfortable in this. I actually find this to be very comfortable, and I want thinner, more out of the way straps. Okay, I want limited material on me. And also, because of these thin straps, when I do go to throw on my day bag or my assault pack, I don't have to worry about any larger straps or pads or anything on here getting in the way. Everything back here is slick in case I got to throw a camel back on last minute, or my MSR dromedary. And then I can also just throw my assault pack right over this and nothing is in the way. Okay, so if you want wider, thicker, padded straps and all that, that's a good way to go. Just for me personally, I haven't had an issue with these, so I'm totally comfortable with that. Let's get our sniper veil here. So standard cheap freaking sniper veil. Look for one on Amazon, you'll find them. So we've got a darker woodland pattern. It's nice and long. So, see about the length there? That's about as far as I'm gonna go. And then we've got a inside version for the terrain and environment we're in now. And it's very easy for me to get into a situation, you guys might have seen this in other videos, where I realize I might want to break up my silhouette. I don't want to pull out my skeeter net. So we're not running and gunning like this. This is an observation thing, okay? So we throw that on there. I can always fix it a little bit, you know, but of course, up close, you're not going to see the benefits of this. I could see fine, I could pull up my weapon, I could get through the sights and shoot, no problem. This does more to break up the silhouette than all these pre-made ghillie suits and all this other cool camo stuff that's coming out. You know, scrims and stuff on the helmets and everything. Again, people are missing that one basic, head and shoulders. That'll give you away every time. It doesn't matter what you got on your head, doesn't matter what's on everything else. All right, so you can throw a whole bunch of brush up on your shoulders and that'll help. But then I've seen guys run into the issue where they're putting a whole bunch of brush and shit in their scrim, and then they've got a whole bunch of stuff on their shoulders sticking out. So every slight little movement they make, it's like freaking flags waving around. CCSSM, all right, color, contrast, shape, shine, and movement. Movement is one of the biggest things that'll give you away next to this head and shoulder. Okay, so if I'm kneeling in the shadows and I get down like this and we're at, I don't know, any kind of decent distance, you know, you're not picking me up. You're not, all right? So, or if I just see an open area that I can't control and I have no idea who's glassing me or something, well, I'm going to use OACOKE or OCACA, observation, avenues of approach, cover and concealment, and key terrain, and I'm going to get away from that area that's possibly being glassed. Okay, so again, if you want to learn more of this stuff, very in-depth, and how we do all of this stuff, then you might want to sign up for the Grunt Academy, and you will learn every single freaking principle we've talked about, especially the OACOKE, OCACA stuff. Next to METTC, that's probably going to be one of the most important freaking factors you could ever use out there on the ground. So let me know what you guys would add or take away, and let me know what you think. I'll see you in the next one. Take care of yourselves. I've seen the common talk online is people are saying to drop their night vision and drop their weapon sights, because the line of thinking is, well, everybody has night vision now.